This is the Roger Orozco Show.
All right, guys, welcome to the show. The star, Ashton. Say hi. Say hi to everyone. Okay, Ashton's got a 5-pound bag of candy. It's not going to eat it all. Oh, special guest. Who is it? Silent. Mr. Silent and Deadly from Spirit Halloween. All right, guys. This episode is going to be off of what happened, a little bit of off of what happened last week at the school board meeting. But before we start, there was something that I found on that I saw on the Fresno Bee. This is like 2 days after that meeting, and I'm just going to read the title real quick. And it says, Selma Unified School District and its trustees have been accused of creating an uneven playing field for companies interested in placing bids on a recent roofing project, according to a lawsuit. So there's a lawsuit, according to that article, of an uneven playing field by the trustees of Selma Unified. Wow. There's a lot of stuff going on. Most people don't get to hear it. They're just, they're busy with their day-to-day. Try not to eat too much candy, okay? All right. All right, guys, so here we go. Last school board meeting 6 days ago, the classified union showed up, and they were upset about how they've been treated. And there were several speakers. One of them was the board president, Sarah Bonilla. So I'm going to go off of her in this episode. I wrote down some of what she said, and I'm going to read the parts I wrote down. So she starts off, hey, Sarah Bonilla, chapter president for Selma, standing here tonight representing the union workers. And then she goes on to say, on August 14th, the superintendent yelled at her, threatened her, told her if union representatives continue to visit school sites, he would personally call the police on them. Wow. She wants the board. She says, board, I want you to imagine what this feels like, to be threatened with arrest for simply doing your job as a union leader, for showing up to support the very employees that give their heart and souls to the district. Wow. She goes on to say, I walked out of the meeting shaking and sat in my car and cried. I have never felt so small, so disrespected. Hold on, Ash. I think the mic's going to pick up all that noise. So we'll just lay low for a second, okay? So disrespected and so broken. Just give me a minute, okay? But what hurt me more was realizing that this just didn't happen to me. It sent a message to every classified employee that standing up for themselves could lead to fear and retaliation. Wow. What happened that day wasn't leadership. It was intimidation. It was an abuse of power and created a deep wound. She's talking about the superintendent here to the board. Not just for her, but with the employees who served every day. She was there to say that what happened that day was not okay, can never happen again. Now, how is it never going to happen again unless you get rid of the guy? I mean, what's this board going to do? Are you going to fire him? I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. He's responsible to the board. The board is responsible for all of this. What are they going to do? I don't know. So let's go on with Mrs. Bonilla. What else she says? So she says, I'm asking this board to listen to her, not just her, let me start all over right there. Not just to listen to her words, but the pain behind them. To stand for what's right, to hold people accountable, to make sure every employee in this district, no matter what title, is treated with dignity, respect, and humanity. I'm standing here as someone who was yelled at, threatened, and then right when she's saying that, the mic cuts off. Her 2 minutes are up, and they silenced her. And then she says, you could hear in the background, she says, I refuse to be silent. But they did. The board didn't even allow her to finish. You have to understand, the board is the power of the people and is the true boss. But if they don't know that, or they're afraid of the superintendent, then it doesn't work. It's pretty disgusting. So now we'll go back to, Ash and I got to go back. So after Miss Bonilla talks, if you pay attention on video, you could hear in the crowd, someone yells, or maybe there's a couple, maybe, but you could hear, you came to ask us for support. You came to our meetings to ask us for support. Where are you at now? Where are you at? That's what they're shouting at the board. I'm thinking that they're talking to Mrs. Kessler, because she was part of the classified union forever, and she's basically been a union rep on that board. But anyway, so you piece it all together. You got parents totally upset at what happened at the junior high, and that's where this comes in. You got classified members upset. The president was yelled at, she says. You have all this stuff going on. You have the lawsuit in the paper. There's a lot of pretty bad things, because the lawsuit is one thing. We don't know what's happening with that, but that they cut the time down for the workers to speak, for the employees and the people, if they would have showed up to speak that day. They cut the time down. They have refused to put an agenda item from a parent on the agenda. They are doing really horrific things, and it's not, it's not just the superintendent. He answers to the board. All the stuff that I just mentioned has been okayed and allowed by your school board. They could easily re-implement everything at the junior high. They can change leadership, which is what I think is what the classified wants, a change in leadership. Why else would you be there? Nothing else is going to happen. You need to change it up. It's not going to happen, because at that exact meeting that you're there to complain, guess what? They cut your time off. Not only did they cut your time, down, not only did they cut their time down, Ashton, not only did they do that, they cut the mics right at the 2-minute mark. This was horrific. A blatant show of disrespect. And what are we going to do about it? What are those people going to do about it? So anyway, thanks for watching. Yeah, boo. This is going to be part 1 of a couple episodes, right? Okay. And anyway, please like, subscribe, and share. And no one else is going to talk to you about what's going on. No one else is going to tell you. The news isn't picking it up yet. Not yet. All right, guys. Well, anyway, say bye, Ash, to everybody, please. All right, cool. All right, bye, guys.